Everybody, how are you doing? Good evening to you all this fine Thursday. This is just a simple, out of nowhere, Simplin Predictin video as we look towards the future of Impact Wrestling, where this Saturday people will test their will, their endurance, and their fighting spirit, because some are sure to give, others are sure to waver, but I feel for everybody, it will be a testament to the act of no surrender. And that's what we're here to discuss and preview and predict tonight, because this Saturday marks the Impact Plus monthly special, No Surrender. We have a very special title match, more than one, a bunch of tag team showcases, and some personal grudges. With that being said, let's just go right through this card and see what happens. So the first match I want to discuss is, first off, a match that was just recently made into six-way mixed tag team as Decay takes on Triple XL and Tennille Dashwood. This has been brewing for quite a while now, ever since the whole Wrestle House storyline where Rosemary had an agenda and it involved using one half of Triple XL, Larry D, in a falsified murder mystery. And jail time, I guess, has changed this man, but Triple XL would never hit a woman. You go also along the way where Rosemary has been in the short-term feud with Tennille, has gotten the better of her now multiple matches, even though Caleb with the K has tried to play a difference maker at times and hasn't worked. And now we have basically this personal vendetta against Rosemary from Triple XL, where Crazy Steve has suffered at the hands of the big right hand of Larry D. And it seemed like it was a numbers game now. But again, as the wrestling industry seems to be opening more than ever, Black Taurus has now made his way to Impact Wrestling from AAA. And of course, Impact Wrestling is no strangers to working with the fine wrestlers and people of Mexico. So the six-man match was made, but I guess you'd call it 6.5 because Caleb with the K, I'm sure, is going to be involved in this somehow too. Looking at this, though, I mean, Black Taurus, he just made his way onto the Impact Wrestling scene. I feel like Decay has to get the win here. There's no reason for XL to know Dash need to continue as a trio. This sounds like a short-term feud, and I feel like Decay, there's still a lot for them to do. So I simply think that Decay is going to go over in this match. Moving on from there, though, we go into another six-person match, but this time it's the Knockouts as the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, and her curator, Kimberly and Susan, Karen. They take on the trio of Jazz, Jordynne Grace, and bam, ODB. And honestly, this was developed ever since Jordynne Grace and Jazz. They kind of gotten the better of these two over the last few weeks, except for this past Tuesday on the go home, where Kimberly, she did pull out victory over the returning ODB, who decided to fight along Jazz and Grace. A lot of familiar names coming back to Impact Wrestling. It's like a rebirth for basically a reigniting of wrestlers' spirits, it seems. And apparently, Susan, she did not tolerate what happened with all the tomfoolery, so she went to Scottsmore, and this six knockouts tag team match was made official. I look at this match, and I wonder what the biggest thing that can come out of this is, and I think it's got to be Deonna Purrazzo's next opponent towards her Impact Knockouts Championship. The question is, do I see ODB getting a chance? Do I see Jordynne Grace getting a chance? Or do I see Jazz getting a chance? Jordynne Grace, of course, being a former Knockouts champion, having one of the best matches last year for the Impact Knockouts in that 30-minute Ironman match, where, of course, Deonna Purrazzo, she successfully retained her title after beating Jordynne Grace previously at Slammiversary. And then I also wonder how much more of Susan, Karen, can Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly handle? Looking at this, though, I feel like right now, with all the tomfoolery aside, I'm going to give it to Jordynne Grace, Jazz, and ODB. And honestly, I could see ODB picking up the victory over Susan, because I feel like right now that's kind of the underlying story at the forefront. And who knows, it could lead to the winner getting a Knockouts title opportunity. So my pick for this is Jordynne Grace, Jazz, and ODB. And again, I feel it's going to be a very interesting match. And I feel like maybe we're on the verge finally of Susan maybe no longer being with these two. I don't know about y'all, but I certainly am annoyed with it. Anyway, moving on from there, we go into a match that is personally a family affair, as Jake Something, bringing back his independent wrestling name, takes on his former cousin, simply known now as Diener, with Violent by Design. And this has been pretty much developed ever since Diener felt pretty much insulted by former friend Eric Young, who called him a nobody. And then he put that to the test where he took out his cousin and joined them. And basically, Eric Young baptized this man and opened his eyes as Violent by the Side lives by this model. This world doesn't belong to them. It belongs to us. After the impressive singles debut of Joe Doring, pretty much almost destroying Jake, but Eric Young given the opportunity to Jake to join this family, I guess you can call it, he basically turned it down, and now Diener wants to be the one to finish this once and for all. But with Jake finding himself now and trying to redefine his identity and to go on his own, I feel like Jake kind of has to win here. He just brought the name Jake Simplin to Impact Wrestling. So I think he really is in an all-out war and a handicap when you think about it, since Randall's also out. I feel that Jake something is going to pull it out here in the clutch. And this won't be the end of him versus Violent by Design. He might just take on all three, maybe in a gauntlet match, maybe go one by one until he finally gets to Eric Young. Who knows? But I think that Jake something's going to get the win here. Moving on from there, we go into knockouts action again, but this time for the knockouts tag team championships. As Fire and Flavor, who won the tournament, congrats to them, they take on the people they beat in the tournament, Havoc and Nevaeh. But both Havoc and Nevaeh over these last couple of weeks of Impact Wrestling have beaten both the champions in singles action, even if one was by DQ. But honestly, it was on Fire and Flavor's fault. And this really came ahead after the Fire and Flavor Fest was destroyed, but honestly, it was needed by Havoc and Nevaeh, who also won it apparently. So now I gotta wonder, this is their second tag team encounter, and this time it is for the gold. Do Havoc and Nevaeh become the first ones to take the Knockouts Tag Team Championships from the newly minted Reincarnated Division and this Team Fire and Flavor? Or does a bigger angle go down maybe after the match set up the next opponents? When I think about Impact Wrestling, they have one of the strongest women's divisions in the industry. One of the most diverse, dynamic, and a bunch of pairs when you think about it. And I know Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly, they originally had aspirations for these titles, but right now they're stuck in a Susan storyline, it seems. Looking at this match, though, I don't see Fire and Flavor losing these titles just yet, but I do see them moving on from Havoc and Nevaeh. Honestly, with this industry opening saga we have, I'm wondering when Ivelisse and Diamante are going to make their way to go after these titles. They are the best tag team in AEW. They won that tag cup, and they haven't lost as a team on Dark. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that as an exhibition. So just with that optimization in mind, I'm going to say that Fire and Flavor, they retain. But hey, I like Nevaeh's new music. And again, it should be a really competitive match. I just don't see a title change here. And also, no DQ. So they can't blame Brian Toe if they lose. Because, hey, weirder things have happened. Anything goes. Texas Tornado. So I'm sure this is going to be fun, loud, and very vocal. But I feel the champs are going to retain. Moving on from there, we go into a very interesting match that kind of adds a whole new twist to Gauntlet and Triple Threats, as we have a Triple Threat Revolver match to determine the next challenger for the X Division Championship, which has been truly a foundation since the genesis, no pun intended, of this company back when it was originally called TNA. It is literally all about limitless possibilities and an open mindset. And honestly, anybody could be part of this X Division. Case in point. So here we have 8 individuals, and 3 of these individuals will start this match off. We have no idea which 3, though. We have Devar, who's recently made a return to Impact Wrestling. We have Suicide, who is a former X Division champion, although I wonder who was Suicide this time, which Suicide it is, because we all know Suicide has been under different people. We have Willie Mack, former X Division champion, who's coming off a recent I Quit match and rivalry with Moose. We have the inevitable Ace Austin, who, in my opinion, he definitely is one of my top picks to be another X Division champion. After all, he did win that trophy and the Genesis X Cup. We have Chris Bay, Mr. Art Finesse, former X Division champion, screwed by Rohit Raju. And I know he also has been involved in Impact World Championship matches too. But again, you can balance them both. Newly minted Josh Alexander, singles individual, after coming off the longest Impact Tag Team Championship run with the North, no longer now with that as Ethan Page is gone. And All Heart Blake Christian, who recently finished his last independent wrestling booking, has been involved in NJPW Strong back in their Super J Cup and has really made strides lately on Impact Wrestling. But also, the reason I left this name off last, because you got a Trey Miguel with a brand new attitude and a very unique, laser-focused mindset. or so some would think, but others question. As Semi-Con right now, I don't know if he's trying to drive him forward or break him as he questions his passion. Will he flake? Because honestly, Trey, were you anything before this with the Rascals? Or were the Rascals basically the better out of the trio? Again, you said you had 2 crutches. Well, now you got no excuses, but are you going to flake again if you fail here? And the way this match works, folks, we're going to start with 3 individuals, but each time somebody is pinned or submitted, another individual will come into the fray. And then literally by the end, we'll be down to just 3 of these individuals, and whoever wins out of those final 3 will become the #1 contender. I look at this match and I think about, first off, who could be the final 3? You got former X Division champions, you got people who've never been X Division champion, and then you got, I feel, the biggest wild card here in Josh Alexander. I look at this match and I think it's going to come down to Chris Bay, who never rightfully got his one-on-one rematch, Blake Christian, who truly has shown how far he is willing to go to try and get this title. And as much as I want to say Trey Miguel, I still feel Sami Callihan is going to see him. ICU, lights go out. We're going to get some sort of singles feud between the 2 Ohio boys. And I feel Ace Austin is going to be in the finals. But I feel also it is inevitable. Ace Austin has to be one of the guys next in line to challenge for the X Division title. And honestly, with that trophy, he's already got kind of a crutch to really give himself a one-on-one match. I feel he deserves it. So while I feel he's a future challenger, I don't think he's going to win this. My personal pick to win this triple threat revolver match is all heart, Blake Christian. And I feel that Blake Christian truly can personify what the X Division is about, where he literally will put his body, heart, and soul on the line. So I'm just going to go on a limb here. And I don't know whether or not he's signed to Impact Wrestling. I honestly don't know what his future is going to hold in store. But I'm going to go with Blake Christian in this. And looking at these other men, Willie Mack, I don't see him becoming X Division champion again this soon. There's definitely a few going on with Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan. I see that falling down to a one-on-one match. Ace Austin and Matt Fulton, they got bad blood already with Josh Alexander. But Ace Austin, I still feel like he is an uncrowned Impact World Champion. Chris Bay, I know he wants the X Division title back, but he's also challenged for the Impact World title recently too. So it's like, which one do you truly focus on? Which one do you really want? And Daivari, he's the oddest one I've seen in this match. I honestly see him being part of the first 3 and eliminated. So with that being said, I'm holding out for Blake Christian to take this whole thing. But it wouldn't surprise me if this comes down to Blake Christian, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin. And that's all I got to say about that. Good luck to all 8 men who I'm sure are going to give us probably match of the night. Because X Division, sometimes it really does steal the show. Moving on from there, we go into a very unique tag team match as Fernandez and Brian Myers, the so-called most professional wrestler, yeah, right, they take on Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona. And this was pretty much born after Eddie Edwards survived barbed wire massacre with Sami Callihan, went one-on-one with Brian Myers, who insulted him, and Eddie Edwards lost his damn mind and bit the man. And since then, Brian Myers has called him out to be unprofessional and hired a hitman in Hernandez, which is really weird in my opinion, but I guess it goes with Hernandez's love for the fat money, maybe building a new money roll. And then, of course, we've seen Brian Myers and Matt Cardona under a different identity, under a different company, work together. Well, now it seems like they're opposite ends of each other, as Brian Myers literally calls out Matt Cardona being the guy who just literally was in catering. So this is a very interesting match, as again, I truly feel like it's the match about Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, though Eddie Edwards does have a personal bone to pick. But with that being said, Hernandez, I feel he's just here to fill a spot. Honestly, Eddie Edwards, Hernandez could be an exhibition maybe after this. I'm looking at Matt Cardona, Brian Myers. Matt Cardona, who's always ready. I think he'll be ready for this. Despite all the progress that Brian Myers has gotten in his winnings lately on a win-loss record in Impact Wrestling, and he does anything to win. He knows his way around the ring, knows how to use it and exploit it. I think Matt Cardona and Eddie Edwards are going to get the win here, and it wouldn't surprise me if Matt Cardona pins Brian Myers. So my pick is the Mr. Impact, in my opinion, because he literally wears the Impact banner, Eddie Edwards, and newly signed Matt Cardona. I'm going with Team Orange here. Simple as that. With that being said, we go into our next match, and this is for the X Division Championship as TJP. He defends the title once and for all, again, against the former champion, Rohit Raju, who this time comes back with a friend. You all might remember him from the Desi Hit Squad, and he's not doing the shuffle anymore. Got a brand new attitude. Muhammad Shira, simply known as Shira now. TJP or Heat Raju, they've been going at each other's throats for months over this title, and I've been calling TJP an uncrowned X Division champion. It took him literally redefining and bringing back an old identity just to get the damn title, okay? And since then, he's held the title. He successfully defended it in a wild triple threat back at, what was their last one? Genesis? No, Hard to Kill. If you haven't seen Hard to Kill, I highly suggest you go watch that pay-per-view. It was really good. And TJP, Rohit Raju, and Chris Bay, they tore the house down. They all went after each other. TJP survived that. But Rohit, he wants a legitimate one-on-one opportunity. Here it is. You wonder now, with this guy in his corner, does this mean he's going to get back what he believes truly is rightfully his that TJP no longer deserves? Rohit Raju was an interesting X Division champion, offering his own form of opportunity while he was champion. But I felt his time has passed, and honestly, I'm surprised that he didn't enlist Davari to help him. Honestly, Davari, Rohit, and Shira could be an interesting trios. And that kind of leads me to a different point. But regardless, I don't see TJP losing this title. He's a freelancer. He goes in between. We see him in NJPW Strong. We see him in Impact Wrestling. I don't know if he's truly signed anywhere, but I don't see him losing the X Division title yet. And again, with the unbelievable dynamics and the amount of people in the X Division, I see TJP has a number of foes waiting for him. Maybe Chris Bay one-on-one, but I feel like he'd had his time, and I don't want to see this title hot potato between the same two men. I'm going with TJP to retain. And I feel it's going to be a very interesting outcome. And will Rohit blame himself? Will he take his anger out on Shira? Is Shira just here for a one-time moment? It's curious to feel what Shira's role is going to be going forward in Impact Wrestling, too. Just saying. TJP to retain, though. Moving on from there, though, we go into a very interesting match as the Beer Guns, the impromptu team of Chris Sabin, one half of Morrissey Machine Guns, and one half of Beer Money! Man, I miss that team. The Cowboy, James Storm, and might I add, former NWA Tag Team Champion. They take on the duo of the Good Brothers, so the current Impact World Tag Team Champions, and Private Party with Big Money, Matt Hardy. And to think, this all was brought when the Forbidden Door was open, and Matt Hardy came back to Impact Wrestling with AEW talent Private Party, who beat Sabin and Storm in the main event with the help of one Jerry Lynn to earn this title opportunity. But they kind of shot themselves in the foot regarding events that's happening across AEW, scouting time, and going in their own way when they cost Sabin and Storm Impact Tag Team Championships this past Tuesday via DQ. Scott D'Amore's like, we can't have this. We're going to make sure that no one interferes in this match. We're going to make sure we have a clear-cut winner. And that's why he turned this into, from a standard tag team match, into a triple threat. So I look at this two ways. One, it's AEW and Impact clashing here. Again, just like that wild six-man tag at Hard to Kill. Do I think this match is going to top that six-man at Hard to Kill? No. But you got to wonder. Good Brothers, they are the Impact World Tag Team Champions. They have not messed with those titles on AEW soil yet. And Private Party, Matt Hardy, if it wasn't for Matt Hardy, I don't think Private Party would even be here because Matt Hardy is former Impact talent. You wonder if Simon Storm were put in here as a buffer to eat the fall. Or you wonder if a surprise is going to come and this impromptu duo of former tag team champions with their own tag teams can pull it off. But then you figure about this club who really has been owning the wrestling industry, led by one AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega, and the mouthpiece, Don Callis. I look at this match, and I figure about also the bad blood between the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks that have been swerved for the time being. Regardless, I look at this. I don't see the Good Brothers losing these titles unless Jerry Lynn shows up again. And I'm pretty sure the Good Brothers owe Jerry Lynn something. But with the way so far that Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, Don Callis, this club, this Bullet Club in their own way, has been showcased, I feel that right now they're going to keep this going forward all the way to Revolution. And we don't know who's going to face Kenny Omega Revolution or if the Young Bucks and Good Brothers is going to happen as an exhibition at Revolution. Probably not with MJF and Jericho still being a thing. But again, concept to change, and AEW loves to change things and surprise us. This match should be really good, though, and I feel the dynamic with Matt Hardy is going to be very interesting here. I don't see Tony Khan and Jerry Lynn at ringside for this. I can see Tony Khan maybe a little bit more pissed if the Good Brothers successfully retain. But right now, I just feel like everything's going the Good Brothers' way. I'm going with the Good Brothers to retain here, and I feel the team needs to fall. It's going to be Sabin and Storm. So with that being said, this should be a very interesting match, but honestly, I just want to see Storm show up, meet Hangman. They go to the bar, they share drinks, they talk about the discrepancies with Matt Hardy. They form a team of themselves. Think about it. James Storm and Heyman Adam Page. How awesome of a tag team would that be? Because Alex Shelley might be gone indefinitely. It doesn't mean he's gone forever. Just saying. Moving on from there, though, we go into our main event. And I know people are turning an eye towards this because Tommy Dreamer is earning this just because of respect. What? And Tommy Dreamer has no chance in hell to beat Rich Swann, nor does he have a chance in hell to be Impact World Champion at 50 years old. I admire the man's fighting spirit, heart for the business, not for himself, not for money, but for talent and this company. I can respect why Rich Swann did this. But again, I look at the one guy who I feel like right now is an uncrowned Impact World Champion, and that is Moose. Whether you like him or not and think that title that he has is ridiculous as his own placement to this, you can't argue that Moose really has shown us why he is Impact Wrestling and why he deserves to be called a champion. He really showed up at that Hard to Kill six-man tag match, pulling out stuff I've never seen from him before. And looking at Rich Swann, I'm sure he's got Kenny Omega in the back of his mind, but I'm sure he's not worried about that right now. This is more so, I feel like, just maybe a tribute to Tommy Dreamer. And honestly, this might be Tommy Dreamer's last championship match of any kind ever. It's going to be memorable. He said he's going to fight with everything. He knows Rich Swann has a recently repaired leg, and he's not afraid to exploit that. But I look at everything happening right now in the wrestling industry. I look at what could happen, who could be involved here, who could disrupt. I look at the end angle. I look at the aftermath. I look at what could happen on Tuesday. No scenario right now that process, fantasy book, has pretty much shown me that one way or another, Rich Swann is losing this title. So no disrespect to Tommy Dreamer, and I understand it's the Impact World Championship, but honestly, I'm more excited for the Triple Threat Tag Team than I am for this. And I feel that Moose is just going to spear Rich Swann afterwards, too. And we're just going to finally get Moose versus Rich Swann probably in an episode of Impact Wrestling. But regardless, I see Rich Swann retaining. And it's as simple as that. The question I have, though, is what's the biggest angle to come out of No Surrender, moving Impact Wrestling and AEW forward? Because, again, their next pay-per-view in Impact Wrestling isn't till April. We know the next pay-per-view for AEW is in March. So will there be an Impact president involved of Revolution? Will we see more Impact stars invade AEW? Or vice versa? Only time will tell. And how much more can you push the Moose Rich Swann narrative till you finally do the match? And we see if Rich Swann can finally shut Moose up once and for all. Regardless, this doesn't hurt Dreamer because Dreamer's going to continue to do what he does because, again, he loves pro wrestling. He loves this company. So, again, enough about respect, but Rich Swann's going to retain. Simple as that. With that being said, that is the 9-match card for No Surrender. What match are you most excited for? What are your predictions? Are you a fan of Impact Wrestling? Is this your first time watching Impact Wrestling? Are you only watching this because AEW is involved? I don't judge. I'm just curious. Have you asked yourself those questions? Regardless, I hope you do give Impact a chance. I hope you enjoy wrestling, and I hope you enjoy this show. And again, Impact Plus, it's not expensive, dude. It's $5. It's a streaming service. It's cheaper than the WWE Network. That's saying something. So again, give it a chance. Watch some wrestling and have fun and see what happens. With that being said, I thank you all for tuning in. You want to know more about me? Know this. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. Follow me on Twitter and Foster1916. Keep following the Simple YouTube channel and Foster1916 or youtube.com/c/no-foster10 for all things wrestling. Shout out to my HW family on Twitter. And I'll give you some nice morale, hello, and, like wrestling memorabilia. I just got some autographs too, including this one. Ayo. And I just give positive morale on my Instagram as well. So follow me there on nfoster1916. And again, follow all my friends and follow all their platforms. So follow Cindy, the Bullet Cast, her podcast. Follow my podcast, The Sauce. Check out NoDQ. Support NoDQ. Support Good Cherry Brand, Jeff Meacham Network, ClearCon Andrew. We got to finish up our NXT stuff, bro. And there's still a lot more stuff coming to this channel as well. And shout out to my AEW family on Twitter. I might have a special ATW edition of AEW Spark. We don't know yet. But also, I can guarantee you this. Tomorrow night, live at 5, I'm back with NJPW Simple Takes as I give you my live overall aspects and retrospectives and aspirations of everything that's happened during the New Beginning Tour that officially concluded today. We also will be having coming up predictions on NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. And yes, NoDQ Galaxy, I will have a form as well, up to 5 points at stake. Good luck to everybody. As I approach the 1 year anniversary of AEW Spark, who knows who might spark a conversation with me? I just want to connect with the wrestling community and bring fun to all of you. So again, stay tuned for more stuff on this channel. And again, as always, I like to close. There are no winners. There are no losers. There are no betters. There are just fans. We're all fans of our own design. We have our own opinions. So be open-minded, respect each other, support one another. And at the end of the day, folks, let's just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell to know next video goes live on this channel. Hit the subscribe button, help me keep growing this channel. Shout out to all 180 of you. This is not let up anytime soon. Until the next video, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Enjoy wrestling. Be smart, be safe, wear a mask. We're going to get through this. We will enjoy wrestling live again. And with the way that the industry's going right now, there's never been a better time to explore wrestling. I hope that you do take a chance to explore it. Impact, AEW, NJPW, MLW, Ring of Honor. Josh Burnett's Bloodsport's also back this weekend. Find something, some promotion, some wrestler, some personality that connects with you. And until the next video, I'll see you all next time. I hope you all have a wonderful night.